If you have a side hustle and you're struggling to get things done, today I want to share a productivity tip in order to help you get things done. Because I discovered something that really helped me, and it's called mornings. Wait, you say, I heard of this morning thing. I sleep through that. Well, that's where your mistake is. Mornings is actually a really great time to get things done, especially after COVID, when we travel to work much less, where we have our time that we normally would spend commuting that we could apply to something else. Now, I used to do all my side hustle tasks in the evening. I would come up with sort of a plan on what I want to do and come up with one idea that I'm going to work on, like pick one task and I'm going to say, okay, tonight I'm going to focus on that, and that's what I've been thinking throughout the day. And then in the evening, I'll be like, all right, let's get this figured out, and I would solve that problem. And that's how I've been doing development for my applications for last 10, 15 years, however long I've been doing that. But lately, I've gotten into programming where it's gotten way more difficult than just picking one problem and trying to solve it. I realized that if I go to bed early, I can get up extra early, and then not having the commute time, I can spend good hour to 2 hours processing some really complicated information in my brain that I would not have been able to do in the evening. Now, I know you say evenings are the cool time, you get to watch TV, drink beer, hang out with other adults, but sometimes that time is, that's not the best use of your time. Sometimes it's better to go to bed early, wake up early, have a clear head, and try to solve your problems then. And I found that in 1 to 1.5 hours in the morning, I could solve probably weeks worth of problems that would take me, weeks of evenings to solve. And that's how I was able to get my programming accelerated much faster. I'm able to solve so many more problems, and I can write so much more code and better code if I do it early in the morning. And this concept of waking up early and getting something done, that's not something my younger me would even think of. I would have enjoyed much more staying up late and doing some other things. But now I feel like I'm more satisfied if I get up early and accomplish something. If I write a piece of code, solve some kind of problem I couldn't solve before, and then I just feel better about myself during the day. I don't know, it's just weird. Maybe that's what happens when you get older. But I recommend you trying one of those weird things called mornings. And there's a second thing I wanted to share with you. And it came to me after I watched movie The Imitation Game, a movie about Alan Turing and how he cracked Enigma machine to intercept German communications. And when I watched that movie, I noticed something interesting. He had this task that was a monumental task, right? There wasn't the problem that you could solve in the evening or two. It's a problem that would take weeks or months or maybe even years to solve. So whenever you approach that kind of problem, you need to focus on two things. First is obviously your problem. You need to be obsessed with it. You need to think about every day, all day, what am I doing? How am I going to solve it? What's the problem? What are different approaches I can take? And the second thing you need to concentrate on is exercise. So I know it's kind of weird because it doesn't directly relate to a problem, but that's what I saw in the movie, and that's one of the things I've actually been doing myself. So if you watch a movie, you'll see Alan. What he's doing is he's working at his desk, he's trying to build that machine to crack the Enigma, and then the next he's running, back to working, back to running, back to working, and so on. And I think this is a really good way of approaching a really big problem. If you're working on the project that's going to take weeks, that is exactly how you should prioritize yourself, is work on your problem. Whenever you stop working on the problem, you exercise. When you stop exercising, you'll go back to working on your problem. And you alternate between those two things. Those two things should be the top of your priority. Everything else just falls to the bottom. Now, we are living in the real world, so of course I don't mean you need to ignore your family, your kids, your friends. You do need to spend time with them and do whatever you have to do. But whenever those things are taken care of, the two things that are surface, your problem that you're working on and your exercise. That's it. Those are the two top-level things in your life. So to sum things up, if you're working on a big problem and you're trying to get things done, try mornings. I know they're not cool, but they will actually help you get things done. And then when you're not working on your problem, exercise. Go for a run. I know it sucks, but you get used to it. Run, work on the problem. Run, work on the problem. Just like in the movie. And I promise you, you will have better results than if you were just sitting there and trying to solve the problem continuously 24/7 without any breaks. Anyway, let me know if you have any tips you want to share with me. Put them in the comment section below. Don't forget to follow on LinkedIn, subscribe on YouTube, and I will see you on the video.